Next grouping principle we have is that of closure. The principle of closure says that our mind fills in gaps to create a whole. Again, we're going to use visual examples, but this also applies to a lot of different of our sensations. For example, auditory closure can happen if you have a track which is skipping, you can still fill in those gaps to hear what's supposed to be said. But here we can look at a bunch of different images which are showing our tendency to utilize closure. The first image up here, when you look at it, despite the fact that it is actually three Pac-Men sort of shaped images coming together. When we look at it, what we see is a triangle. We see a triangle which is blocking portions of a circle. The fact that we can see a triangle even with all that missing information is just showing that our mind is filling in those gaps, it's filling in the missing information, and it's giving us a whole image or a whole picture. Here we sort of can see a snake maybe winding around a scepter or around a staff of some sort. So you can fill in the gaps and you can see that there's at least something like an S shape being hidden by something else. Down here you can very clearly see maybe like a spherical object with spikes coming out of it, something like a mace or medieval weapon or something. And then right down here, you see it looks like kind of like Nessie, the Loch Ness monster, coming in and out of the water. Um, Again, it's really just three bizarre shapes that have been placed next to each other, but because of the principle of closure, we connect them, we fill in those missing gaps, and we're able to see a whole cohesive image, which is the idea of Gestalt psychology. Lastly, you see a panda bear. You don't see like a bizarre creature who's missing like a chunk of his back and missing like a whole portion of his head. Instead, we just fill that gap in and we see it as a whole panda bear.